I'm Dani.
And I'm Marie.
And this is Beyond the Books with Dani and Marie. We are so excited
to
be back this week.
Yes, we missed it. We missed it.
Last week was terrible.
Ugh.
Let me just
So
be
bad.
100% about that.
Ugh.
We were so sad that we couldn't get together to do an episode.
Yeah.
But since we didn't, we have been ticking like little
Oh.
time bombs.
So bad.
About to go off. So we have a full episode planned for you, and we're so excited. So, let's just dive in, right?
I'm ready.
All right. So this week, and we spent a lot of time researching online, and kind of getting a feel for everyone else's, all the other fan base, their kind of perspective on this.
Opinions. We love them.
We do. And there's a discussion board on Facebook that we follow that's specifically for A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah, I think it's the ACOTAR series discussion group.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And so we both are a part of that. And there is a lot of feedback happening right now. A lot of feedback happening right now about Tamlin and whether or not he deserves a redemption story. And so we thought that we would lead this episode with a full-fledged discussion on Tamlin and kind of the ins and outs and all of that.
The whole situation. Just
all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're really excited. We have our own opinions, of course, that we've already talked
and
about.
I am burning up to let them
We're
out.
so excited to let you know.
Burning up.
So, okay, I guess my question for you is, do you think that Tamlin deserves this redemption story that all the fans seem to be...
Put me in, coach. Put me in. Okay. Hell no. Okay, well, let me back it up. If he gets one, it can have nothing to do with him and Farah and him and Rice or anything. It has to be about him and him alone, because so far I don't give a who and how he brought back who. Because if he wouldn't have done any of the shit he did, they wouldn't even be in this situation.
Exactly.
Way to be the bad guy without even being the bad guy.
So, and here's my thoughts on a redemption story for Tamlin. In a way, he kind of has like a mini redemption.
Yeah, teeny tiny.
In A Court of Wings and Ruin, when Farah sneaks into the camp to get Elaine back, right?
Yeah.
With Azriel. And Tamlin kind of swoops in and saves the day and helps them escape, right?
Yeah. Not a redemption. That is not... I mean, it's a baby.
It's a mini baby step.
But if I ever met him, I would still fight him.
Right?
Point blank, period.
Which
Catch these hands. Catch these hands.
In Silver Flame, when Nesta goes at him.
I've never been
so
Nesta. Pro Nesta. Let me just
Nesta.
tell you. Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, I feel like he kind of took like an initial baby fraction of a step towards a redemption, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then he kind of throws it out the window with his I mean, for lack of a better term, his shit talking of Farah and Rice.
Right.
In the middle of this high lord court of bringing everybody together to figure out where does Prythion go from here.
Well, and that's the thing is, let's be real. You've been a shit. You have, and the only redemption you have, you want to use it to, I gotta go. I can't do this. I can't do it. Okay, carry on.
So obviously we feel pretty heavily about this, right?
Don't we?
So here's the thing, though. There's a lot of people out there, and I can understand their opinion, where they feel like, Tamlin was reacting out of a way, to try to protect Farah. And while I can see that, I can definitely see where, he might be coming from. But here's the thing. Toxicity... is there in relationships, it can come in a very fine form, right?
Preach it.
So there is a line that has to be followed, because someone can act out of protection and still be doing all the wrong things.
All the wrong things.
So, and beyond that, I think we read a comment a while ago that was talking about how, you know, Feyre at the time when Tamlin locked her in the mansion or in the manor, that she was not fully capable, she wasn't fully healed, and she could have left and gone with him and gotten herself killed.
Yes.
Here's the thing. While that might be true,
while it might,
your point was that this bitch done gone up against Amarantha in her human form.
Amarantha.
And defeated her. And literally gave her life. And now she can't handle it?
Right, I'm sorry. I just gave every bit of my mortal life, effed her up, took down a worm, took down all these things, but you won't let me go out to the garden and see what's sneaking around? Get
bit.
I can't.
So, again, I mean, not that I'm knocking anybody that has those thoughts or those opinions.
No, that's totally fine. Totally fine.
I mean,
realistically, come on, think about it.
So, okay, and let's get just real for a second. Let's just dive in personally, because
get in there.
I don't know, I don't know if Sarah J. Maas wrote this intentionally or if she changed the narrative later. I think somebody else had that comment about not knowing whether or not the toxicity and his behavior was put in there intentionally.
Right.
But the reality is that we as females in this society today, we get into these relationships sometimes and we are so blinded by the niceties. Okay, so let's back that up and relate that. I mean, Tamlin literally does all these things for her, provides for her family, gives her all the things that she ever wanted in her human form, just to try to get her to fall in love with him. And really, in my personal opinion, I feel like Tamlin never actually loved her.
He didn't.
I feel like he was using her as a means to an end to try and break his curse. And if it wouldn't have come out the way that it did, he would have cut her loose. I think really his temper tantrum in Wings in Ruin is literally because Rice got what Tamlin thought that he deserved. Not because he actually loved Feyre.
Oh, no, he did not.
And so, I mean, on a personal level, I mean, I've been in a toxic relationship before. I mean, and it kind of blindsides you, and you never really see it coming. Like, in my mind, I want to be like, no, I would never let that happen to me.
Of course not. No, because you've got, like, all of these, like, boundaries.
I'm a person. I have goals. I have dreams. I have things that I want to do and things that I want to accomplish.
You end up looking back and you're like, wait a minute.
And then you're like, oh, wait, that was a huge red flag. That was a huge red flag.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, like, using the whole, like, buying paints to keep her inside. Like, that was not...
It was, like, while it is a nice gesture, and while he understood her to a certain extent, he also understood what it would take to lock her up. And that's how that ended up happening. And I mean, and you and I, of course, we've talked about this on personal levels.
Yes.
I mean, it's sad and scary how real this situation is. Well, we're talking about a fantasy fiction realm of a book. Like,
we've lived through it. We've literally lived through it.
Literally.
I mean, we didn't have, big, sexy, fantasy fairy god.
I wasn't a fae, but I mean, it happened.
Okay. So, with all that being said, I wanted to read a comment on the whole Tamlin redemption arc. And, so the original thing was someone had said about Feyre and, not being grateful and, all these other things. And this girl commented, and I was like, yes, preach it, girl, go. I'm not going to say her name because we didn't have her permission to read this.
Right.
So, the comment says, Tamlin is an abuser, full stop. This was a hard realization for me, and I think many readers to come to, because we were led to adore him and Feyre together in the beginning, as they fall in love. But his behaviors are truly textbook domestic abuse. Whether Sarah J. Maas chose to write it that way in the beginning, knowing his arc, or later changed the narrative, it was an interesting choice. I'm not sure I agree with it, but Feyre owes him nothing, and her reaction to that trauma is uniquely her own.
So
signed,
true.
Sealed, delivered. Bam.
True.
That's it.
Full on.
That's it.
So here's kind of my question that I want to pose to our watchers and our subscribers and viewers is, so if Sarah J. Maas were to write a redemption story for Tamlin, which, I mean, I would be into.
Right. As long as it came from a place of him realizing how...
So, and that's my question. Like, would this redemption story be a love story? Okay. Would it entail a kind of like a makeup story with the way that he treats Lucien? Because not only does he abuse Feyre, he abuses his friendship with Lucien.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, again, some people are going to say that, oh, well, you know, like, Lucien's not really his friend. He's his second. Like, he's supposed to be, like, in this place of...
But he came there as a friend.
Right. Like he came for
if you started
salvation.
Working for me or the other way around and treat me like that, or I treat you like that, we would have a problem. Let me tell you, that's not friendship. Boo. That ain't it. Like, that ain't it.
So, my big question, though, would be, you know, would this redemption story include what he's learned from the mistakes that he made with Feyre?
Right.
And would it include, because here would be my big question, would it include him realizing that and taking that realization to Feyre and Rhysand and apologizing for his behavior and his part in the war?
At least by the end of it. Because if not, I ain't reading it.
And I do believe that would take a lot because he's very prideful. Also, I wanted to throw in the fact that with the character build of Tamlin, I can definitely see why he reacted in some of the ways that he did. Like, why she wrote him that way.
Right.
And why he holds this, like, weird animosity with Rhysand. Right. Although Rhysand definitely has more of a, like, leg to stand on as far as, like, the hatred realm.
Right.
But, I mean...
Tamlin's just like his daddy.
Right.
He's
very prideful and very arrogant.
But that's the thing. You can either be, which is, I preach all the time, you can either be like your parents or you can do better than your parents. For the love of God. We're adults. We're adults. Do better. Do better.
So, I mean...
Oh, but I do want to say, if it is a romance situation, that is his redemption, whatever... I really need for him to fix himself first.
Yes.
Because
it's gotta be a love yourself first story.
You can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself. And I think that's part of the reason that he's fucking everything up, because he doesn't even know how to care for himself and appreciate himself. And right.
Because all he's done his whole life is isolate.
Even Rice knows how to appreciate him and made him food while he was out there drowning in his sorrows or whatever. Redemption arc my ass. I'm sorry. I can't. Boop! Oh, wait. Speaking of Rice.
Well, we're going to go into that in the next one.
Okay.
So, pause on that because we want you guys to come back next week. And we're going to lead into basically talking about Rhysand and kind of Rhysand versus Tamlin and how Feyre grew in her own story arc.
Right.
And kind of into her own self, I guess. Right. By being in a friendship with Rhysand.
Right.
And I mean, really not even a friendship at first. Like, she freaking hated him.
Which is funny because I didn't like my husband when we first met. I didn't like
my husband either.
And then we became friends. And now we married and live happily ever after.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
All right, so... we hope you enjoyed this episode. Definitely give us your thoughts, your comments. Of course, if you don't agree with us, that's totally okay.
We love
about
that. We love differences in opinion.
We want to hear.
We don't even agree on everything.
No, we don't. Although this thing we do.
We do agree on
this. We do.
Tamlin,
but we do want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, and all of that. And I would love to hear what some of our or not even our fans, but Sarah J. Maas's fans. I want to see what you guys want out of this redemption story. Yeah. Be specific. What would you like to see her bring to light with Tamlin in a redemption arc?
Throw some ideas out there. We'll go over the theories in our episodes. We love doing that. That's like our favorite thing to do.
Maybe we can tag Sarah J. Maas and maybe she'll read them.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
So, don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and catch us next week right here. Same time, same place.
Bye.